This big news. How big is it?
That's great news. I mean, hello from Hong Kong, and we would very much like to welcome our visitors to come to say hello to us. Yes.
Okay, well, so this is a broader campaign.
Yeah.
It's underpinned by partly, of course, all these free plane tickets.
Yes.
That's being given out. How many? 500,000?
500,000 for our inbound passengers.
Okay, and how are you allocating that per airline per place? Is what I want.
Okay, the airlines, the airport authorities are working on that, and obviously, you know, it's a proportion according to the pre-pandemic sort of traffic share. So the first lot will be, or the majority will go to the regional market, short-haul markets. Then, of course, it's subject to the ramping up of the airline's capacity, and you know, we all know that, you know, at the beginning of the reopening, you know, the airlines, the airports, it takes time to ramp up their capacities to different, you know, on their different routes, their network, and so on. So the initial stage would be focusing on Southeast Asian markets, and then the mainland China markets, and as well as the North Asia.
Yeah, tell us how you got to that number of 500,000, because obviously you must have some kind of goal set in your head, targets for tourism revenue or boosted GDP. Do you have some ways to quantify whether this success, this program becomes a success?
Right. I think for the free tickets, basically, and it was I think it was a fantastic thing that happened, but it happened because 2 years ago, when the airlines, Hong Kong-based airlines, were in a situation where they were short of cash, and it's almost come to the brink of closing down. So the airport authorities supported them with this financial package, 2 billion Hong Kong dollars, which include a number of tickets they negotiated. So 2 years to 2.5 years now, we're now making use of those tickets for the whole Hong Kong as a city to invite the visitors.
But in terms of just kind of tourism revenue and all that, do you think that, how quickly can we get back to what, 2018, 2019 levels, you think?
No, I think, to be honest, I think it will be difficult for us to very quickly to get back to the 2018 level. Now, Hong Kong's inbound visitors numbers has always been top of the world, you know, ahead of Bangkok, ahead of anyone else. But of course, we have to also see that 80% of our visitors are from mainland China because of the proximity, just crossing the border, day trippers, so all of that. So it would take some time. But I think, you know, what we see is a progressive and orderly manner for our visitors to return to the city would be important, because you want that to be more sustainable. You don't want everyone, you know, to be filled with visitors, but we are already getting there. So let's kickstart. I think the launch yesterday, the important thing is that let's say hello to the world. Let's make it clear to the world that there's no more restrictions. Everything is back to normal. We want to welcome back our visitors. So we'll take time, and then we'll welcome them back. Seeing is believing. There have been a lot of misunderstanding or misconception about Hong Kong. We want that to happen.
So this brings us into what your efforts will be to push this forward. So it's not like opening a switch or, you know, opening the door, you know, just unveiling what's behind the curtain, right? So things like flight capacity issues, for example, outside of the 500,000, it's still very expensive, really. So what's the government doing, for example, to convince people that it is worth to make the trip?
Now, it's obviously, you know, we looked at a lot of different markets, you know, for the last year or so, when they, you know, started reopening Europe, US, you know, Australia, Japan, and so on. Then you see that, you know, things need time to sort of get back, you know, and particularly the shortage of labor on hospitality business, on aviation, everywhere. You know, is short of labor. So we can see that the whole pandemic, that the impact, I think everyone is feeling now, is apart from the public hygiene issue, is the social and economic. You know, people don't want to go back to their old jobs. People, you know, have a new lifestyle. People may not want to spend so much time, you know, working. So this has all the impact, but it will take time. So the important thing is that we want to tell the world very clearly that we are back. We want to welcome you back. Now, we have to also admit that we are now the last one to reopen. Right? But we are now back on the stage, and we want to welcome back the visitors. We want to welcome businessmen to come back. We want to welcome event organizers to come back. So that's very exciting. In fact, last 6 months or 3 months, so we have increasingly more inquiries than before. People want to bring back the shows and exhibitions and conventions. They want to make sure that, hey, we need time to organize this, and you better tell us that I'm going to organize this event in 3 months, 6 months' time, or this year. Okay, are all these measures, restrictions going to be uplifted? It is. So fantastic news for us.
And Hong Kong Marathon, that's coming up, right? That's one of the next ones as well.
the
You
next,
have Art Basel,
yeah.
Rugby Sevens,
The
right?
next highlight would be in a month's time. We got the marathon,
Yeah.
yes, the Art Basel, the Cock and Flap Music Festival, the Art Central. And Rugby 7, we just had it in November, fantastic, but more a local, domestic sort of show. But this time, I understand a lot of corporate customers and visitors are already asking about, I want to get a ticket, I want to go to Hong Kong, I want to get back to that party.
Dane, thank you so much. It was nice to see. Finally.
Finally.
Hello,
We're
Hong
all
Kong.
based in Hong Kong, so hello, Hong Kong. Thank you.
There we go.